everyone, it's Zoe and welcome to the new episode of Hometown Vlogs. And today I'm going to show you around New York City, where I lived for about 4 years now.
Known as the melting pot of cultures and the city that never sleeps. We are going international once again as the new season of Hometown Vlogs takes us to one of the busiest, most diverse, and most famous places in the world. Welcome to New York. It's been waiting for you.
Good morning. It's a Friday and I took a walk here at Central Park because it's a nice and it's a lovely day today, although it's a little bit windy. But I wanted to show you how different New York City is compared to other cities in the United States. One thing I love about the city is you can be part of the nature and the city at the same time. One example is Central Park. You could just go to the park, feel the nature, and then you go out of Central Park and you're back in the city life of New York City. And it's just an interesting setup and I just love living here. So my favorite food place in my neighborhood first is Miss Madeline. It is a French-owned bakery in the Upper East Side and they serve fresh baked croissants every day. I love chocolate croissants and ham and cheese croissants there. And then I always go to a coffee shop right after. My favorite recently is Frame, New York. It's owned by a Thai restaurant owner. The restaurant right next door actually is their Thai restaurant. So after you grab dinner or lunch, you can go to the next place for a coffee or for a tea. But there's a lot more places in New York. I think my favorite food places outside of my neighborhood is Fish Cheeks. It's also a Thai restaurant and it's a fusion. So it's like you're getting the local feels, but also the flavor is so much different. So I love that so much and the vibe is so nice. That one is in Nolita. And then when you go downtown, if you want cheap eats, I would say go to Chinatown and try some local Chinese street food. My favorite is, I can't pronounce the name, but it is a peanut noodle and dumpling shop. And you have to pay for cash and you get everything for $6 and you'll get full. If you go to the subway, if you haven't gone to the subway yet, you'll feel like you're not out of place because technically there's a lot of people from around the world. New York is a melting pot of all cultures. So even if you're just walking in the streets, you'll hear different languages. And it fascinates me so much. That's why I wanted to move here. I knew it would be easier for me to adjust because there are friends everywhere around the world. I do take the subway. It's actually my number one way of transportation around the city. But recently, I've been taking the ferry to work because there's a lot of Asian hate crimes happening around the city, especially in the subway. So I try to look for other ways to explore. So ferry is one of them. You can also take the bus. But I guess if you think about New York, the subway is probably the most iconic transportation system.
In almost 4 years of living in New York City, Zoe has been capturing moments of her life through her vlog. It is where she expresses her love for the art, the same way she appreciates the beauty that she sees wherever she goes and whatever she experiences with her travels and adventures.
Upon moving to New York, I feel like there's a lot of places to explore and I'm a foodie, so I love to explore a lot of restaurants in the city. And when I moved here, I didn't know anyone, so my way of coping was just to explore, move around the city, walk, and so I got into vlogging. I do a lot of vlogs around New York City or even other boroughs like Brooklyn and Queens. I also feature some food places on TikTok, which is also fun. So I feel like I kind of revisited my love for creativity when I moved to New York. I was a communication arts student back home, so part of my education was being creative, strategic at the same time. That's why I currently work at an advertising agency, simply because of that passion. And ever since I was a student, I love taking content. I think it's part of my DNA at this point. So as a part of enjoying where I am and coping, that's the way that I kind of, put my time into.
Indeed, immigrants get the job done in New York City because of the countless work opportunities available. The Big Apple gives highlight on diversity as people from different races strive to achieve their own dream.
So I think out of all the places in the United States, New York would be the best place to start your career as an immigrant because almost everyone who is in the workforce came from different places. I feel like most New Yorkers are very resilient. Filipinos specifically are very resilient, so I really tried my best to look for places even though I wasn't living in New York back then. I was in Virginia, I was looking for jobs in New York, I was taking the bus every single day, going to New York for interviews, going back and forth. It was a very tiring moment, but I guess it all paid off because I eventually got hired by an agency and I worked on something that I really loved doing. And then eventually my dream advertising agency tapped me for a role, which I accepted, and now I feel like I'm living my dream. I feel like people who move here to New York are just intimidated at the very big agencies around the city or very big or corporate companies because they think they can't make it. But honestly, resilience-wise, Asian people or even people from different countries are more hardworking because we all know that we did all of our best to be in this position. We always have a step forward on things, and I feel like that gives us an advantage on things. Definitely, New York changed me as a person. Number one, I feel like it made me more mature because I have to be independent and, you know, I have to learn how to survive by myself. As a person who was born and raised in the Philippines, we are so used to the culture of, you know, staying at our parents' house until we get married. Sometimes not even when we got married, until we can afford to live somewhere else. And moving to New York, I have to find my apartment. I have to earn money to buy food that I like or buy things that I like, which was unusual. So it definitely changed me so much as a person in a good way. There's a famous line from a song that says, "When you make it here, you make it anywhere." And I truly believe that because New York City as a place gives you that type of experience that you feel like you can get anywhere else. For me, when I moved here, I was afraid to call myself a New Yorker because I feel like everybody is intimidating because everybody just, you know, hustle and bustle. They're always busy. They know what they're doing. But recently, I realized that I should have called myself as a New Yorker when I got here in the first place, simply because nobody's really from New York. Everybody is from around the globe. Everybody is from different places. And I'm also part of that people that walks in the streets, like talks different language. And I guess that makes me a New Yorker.
Truly, New York City is a diverse city when it comes to the people, food, and places. It is where the bustle and hustle meets the nature that brings out the best of both worlds. You can go everywhere and eat anything you like, but more to that, you can meet people that come from all around the globe. There is diversity, lots of opportunity, and if you make it here, indeed you will make it anywhere. Just like the lyrics from Taylor Swift's song Welcome to New York, it says everybody here wanted something more, searching for a sound we hadn't heard before. It's a new soundtrack, I could dance to this beat forevermore. This is Hometown Vlogs. See you again in our next stop.